What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, joined by the one, the only, the Smoothcast 300.
Gershwan.
Today we're back at it, answering more questions from you guys, the viewers, in another spine-tingling episode of For the Greater. I was trying to psych you out. Did it work?
A little bit. I was trying to figure out where I was supposed to go in. This is a video series where this is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer.
Yeah, you just went French right there.
Yeah,
We.
If you have a question for us, just comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And that is what good old Angel Warrior 28 says, or did. Are there any Space Marine legions that started out as fan fiction, not part of the lore or a joke, but later became main Warhammer 40K lore? Yes. Not the joke part. I don't think there's ever been like a joke faction that has become part of 40K. If any, like the most popular one would be what are they called? Not the Noise Marines, Pain Marines, Angry Marines.
There you go, Angry, yep. I knew they were yellow.
Yes. And then also the Pretty Marines and stuff like that.
The Rainbow Warriors.
But I highly doubt that that's going to happen.
Right.
Just because they're purposefully like vulgar. And GW seems to be going away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a faction that won a contest for homebrewing, and it was the Sons of Dorn. Very, the story itself is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it talks about, not nepotism, but like families being enrolled into the Sons of Dorn, and it's like this whole little like lineage and stuff like that of neophytes and aspirants and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you like Fast and the Furious and family, that's
About the family.
you'll be into it. But no, it's very rare for something like this to happen. So for GW to be like, yeah, let's include that, like that's big.
They should do that again.
Right, have like another little like contest thing.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna be all like, all these people did really good. You guys can't do fan lore anymore.
Yeah.
Unless you're working for us. That's scary.
That's GW. This next question comes from James Kiltz. How do you guys feel about using non-GW bits in 40k? Also, have there been a story where an orc uses a Catan Shard in a similar fashion to the Necrons? I plan on kit bashing my orc captain to have one powering his mega armor. Keep up the great work, or good work.
Thank you. But yeah, so to answer the first question, yeah, we've used non-GW bits to embellish our minis. Oftentimes we see all these other like awesome kit bashes that use not just like third-party bits, but like you could use like chain, toothpicks. Like there's a slew of like things that like you might not even think would work in the setting of 40k, but actually do.
Yep. The last time I tried to kit bash something with like something from a different what is it called? IP, yeah, which was HeroClix. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the first one, when Dumbledore uses the wand to destroy like a Horcrux, and his hand like shrivels up. My hand shriveled up that way too, so I had to dunk it in Simple Green. It's something that you remove paint with, but for us wargamers, if you dump it in there, it like rejuvenates. So just be careful when using third party. It will suck the life out of you.
Yeah, but even then, like you could still kit bash with like Age of Sigmar stuff if it's not 40k, if you want to keep it in the same IP.
Right.
Yeah, so especially with Chaos, like there are really great, awesome things for Slanesh that aren't available in 40k. So definitely that's something to keep in mind of. In a previous For the Greater Wall, we talked about like Kingdom Death. Was it Beasts? What was it called again?
Creature
Caster, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's others out there, and like, even if you just go on like on a Google search or on eBay and you just type in like Sisters of Battle, you'll get a slew of like other third-party people that produce really cool-looking models for the Sisters.
Yes.
Or anything really.
A slew.
Yeah, a slew. And you can be creative too. Like, let's say you're looking for a Space Marine, but you're looking for a third party, so just type in like Space Crusader or a Warrior Marine, something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll find things.
Also, as far as like the second question, not that I know of, there hasn't been an orc that uses a Catan Shard, but you could definitely create that.
Yeah. I believe there was an army being sold on eBay years back of like an orc army that was using a bunch of like Necron bits and stuff like that. And there was like a monolith. Was it a monolith? It might have just been a Catan Shard inside of that. I forgot what it's called.
The Tesseract?
Tesseract Vault. There you go. But it had like an orc inside of it, like a huge orc or something. So
That's cool.
yeah, even like this goes with the previous question. You could always kit bash between the same IP and make it look pretty cool.
Yeah. On a similar topic, the big one asks, what's the best Christmas gift for my dad who I haven't seen in 7 years? He'll be back any day now. He will. Combat patrols are really good just because you get a discount on usually the HQ. Mm-hmm. The starter collecting set, you basically get the HQ for free.
Right.
So any of those where you get free stuff.
Mm-hmm. Or if it's available, like the Indomitus box set, that's another bang for your buck. Gives you guys 2 armies to play and utilize.
Even though, like, I think it's harder to find the Indomitus box set. Last time I checked online, it was $300.
Yowza.
Yep, it costs the regular price is $2. So
right, yeah. So maybe not bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Just get them some
chicle.
Mm-hmm. Y pan dulce.
Next question comes from Robert O'Driscoll. Is it sound alchemist, like of sound mind, or more like you perform some sort of noise music? Chicago love.
I like that. It's been a while since I've heard Chicago love. It's whatever you want it to be, man. I mean, I'm not here to judge. You could be safe and sound alchemist. Did you hear that? Sound alchemist. Lo que tú quieras.
I feel like I have to snap. It's very poetic what you just said.
Good. I'm trying to, muster up the nerves to do the open mic night.
WAAAGH.
Mm-hmm. This one's by Angel Warrior 28. What character from another franchise or universe would you say is on par with the Emperor in his prime, capable of even taking him on and perhaps defeating him?
Pretty much anybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's like... Or DC, too. I feel DC might be a little stronger.
DC is way stronger in my opinion.
So, like Superman, even Batman, Cyborg, The Flash. Pretty much you could write anything.
Yeah. I was going to say Dr. Manhattan, but he might be above Emperor.
Yeah. He would be a god.
Mm-hmm. We haven't seen the Emperor's thing.
Oops, sorry.
Corn dogs. But we have seen Dr. Manhattan's thing, so...
That's true. This next question comes from Outnode. In a world where people eat chopping boards, what do they cut their food on? Who eats chopping boards?
Yeah, that's usually wood or plastic.
Yeah. I've never seen that before.
No. Rocks, if they're eating their chopping board?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or diamonds, because they're hard.
Next question.
This one's by Angel Warrior 28 once again. In the Warhammer 40K lore, who is generally considered to be most well-known, loved, and respected by all of the Primarchs, and why?
Sanguinius.
Yeah, he's a bro.
He's angelic. He's very charismatic. You want to be him.
Mm-hmm. Girls want him. Dudes want to be him.
Exactly.
Or vice versa. It's 2021.
Yeah. Next question comes from Alan Zeus 1. Do you think Gilliman is actively looking for his brothers? Love your videos, guys.
No. He's too busy leading the Indomitus Crusade. Like, he was put as the commander-in-chief of the war efforts for the Imperium. So yeah, he's got a lot on his plate. And he can't be searching for other things, or he can't even go to the rock and wake up the lion.
Right. And it's a simple action. It's
it is.
Knock, knock. You awake? No. Okay, I'll come back later. This next question comes from Big Earl. You said that you thought the Loch Ness Monster was an early Tyranid. Do you think it could just as easily be a Catan Shard? No, just because the Loch Ness Monster is a living thing, and Catan Shards are gods.
Gods, yeah. Star vampires in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Sorry. This one is by DStonk333. Do Tyranids register in the warp? No, well, No. Because in order for something to have a presence in the warp, they have to have a soul. The soul is like the beacon, the means to connect a living sentient being to the warp, the immaterium. And tyranids are like goop made by the hive mind, so they don't have a individual soul. It's one big thing, I guess, if you want to think about it that way.
Yeah, and then they have a huge veil over themselves.
The shadow.
That's the shadow of the warp.
Yeah. So in a way, they don't register in the warp, but they kind of do if you're smart enough. Because the way I've been, spoiler alert for the Hollow Week videos, but I'm talking about blanks and pariahs. And basically the way that they work is that they don't have a soul. So they're unable to be registered by like warp demons, except there are some demons that can look and feel the presence of a pariah because of the way that the warp is empty around them. So it's like they can't see them, but they see the emptiness, and that's how they perceive them.
Like a black hole. They see the curvature.
Right.
Or how light does a thing.
Bends, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It is, but it isn't.
Next question.
This one's by Noah Westergaard. What happened to the World Eaters that stayed loyal to the Emperor?
They became the Carcaridons. My opinion.
Yeah, rumor has it. Generally, these type of things, like with the 2nd and the 11th Legion, if they did stay loyal, they just got inducted into an already established legion or chapter, and then eventually they get like separated through the Codex Astartes, and they become their own chapter. So it is a huge theory out there that yes, they got inducted to say, because the Carcaridons are under what? Imperial Fists?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So,
or Ravenguard.
Yeah. So whatever the progenitor Primarch of the Carcaridons is, like that's the Primarch or the Legion that they got inducted into, and then later they were split into their own thing.
Yeah. Next question comes from Trippy X Trap. I gave my only dislike on your channel for the thumbnail. The thumbnail is the Emperor with Biden's head on it. I'm glad we triggered you. We did that back in the day when it was Hillary versus Trump.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
We've done it with Putin. Nobody really says anything when we do something with Putin. But yeah, stop being soft, man.
Yeah, politics.
Next question.
This one's by Evangelium. Since the Emperor used the warp as part of the process in creating the Primarchs, then wouldn't they all be able to embrace their warp energies like Corvus Corax did and become something even greater, just like he? I mean, kinda, yeah. The Emperor did make them with make all his Primarchs psychers in varying degrees. Like obviously not everybody's as strong as Magnus, but even those that don't use psychic abilities outright, like Dorn, Gilliman, they still have that psychic presence, essence of them. So could they tap into it? Yeah. Will they? Have they? Who knows? That's up to GW to decide.
Yep. Next question comes from Angel Warrior 28. What is the origin of the Adeptus Mechanicus? So the Adeptus Mechanicus are just basically like whatever was left over on Mars after the Age of Strife. Mars used to be habitable. It used to be like terraformed and everything, but then the Age of Strife happened. People or AI got corrupted, technology got corrupted, and it brought Mars back to like its, red desert-like sand of irradiated. What is it called? Sand and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Irradiated.
Nothing elaborate, nothing like spectacular. It's just, I guess you could even think of them as a techno barbarian state.
Yes, very much so.
That just so happens to be respected and signed the Treaty of Mars. But yeah.
Yeah, because they were a huge bolster to the war machine that was, Earth. Yes. Terra. Angel Warrior 28 once again. Are there any Space Marine legions and Imperial regiments that use or used modern-day aminals as beasts of burden in war? Not really, because all the modern-day animals that are on Terra are pretty much extinct. with all the wars and terraforming and calamities that happened on Earth. However, we do see like cyber mastiffs, cyber eagles being used alongside the Judge Dredd dudes. What are they called? Enforcers?
Adeptus arbitrators.
There you go. However, if you go to different planets, they have their own flora and fauna, such as like the wolves on Fenris. The Dark Angels have the lions of Caliban that they ride into battle and stuff like that. So
the Death Korps of Krieg has their horses. Look at their hooves; they're not regular horses.
Yeah, that's to show you, hey, these aren't horses.
Yeah, they're scary horses.
Everything but that 1%.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are animal-like creatures that Space Marines and other Imperial forces do use.
Just nothing that we would recognize.
Right.
Yes.
'Cause it's not a horse.
No.
Trust me.
Next question.
This one's also by Angel Warrior. Do any of the Primarchs know the truth about the 2nd and the 11th Legion? They all knew and kind of know what happened, but in one of the novels it stated that Malcador put some type of either psychic presence to make them forget or just put that memory deep away. Or some of them even like just outright know, they just don't talk about it. Like Horus and Sanguinius were talking about it, but they're like, hey, we got to keep it on the hush-hush, because if others find out, then it'll be their own heads. So, yeah, they do know, but then some have mind control and amnesia and stuff like that. So
Amnesia.
The thing is, like with the 2nd and the 11th, they were placed under the Imperial Order called the Edict of Obliteration. Which basically means that any symbols, likeness, any official records, anything at all is completely wiped to make it seem as if they never existed.
Exactly.
So home worlds, recruitment worlds. You would think that the actual like Astartes, like the Space Marines, would be all killed. It may not be the case.
Right. And this is going to be the last question by Eric Romero. What do all legions take their inspiration from? For example, Space Wolves are Vikings and Ultramarines are Romans. So if we go down the line, Gladiators are the World Eaters, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then I should have just started from the Dark Angels. Dark Angels are Knights.
Right.
The 2nd Legion is gone. The 3rd Legion is... Which one? Is that White Scars?
Los Culiacanes.
So that's going to be... the White Scars are Mongols.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Mortarion and his Plague Marines. What are they called in regular?
Death Guard. Oh,
yeah,
no.
the Death Guard.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like what they were called before. Because a lot of these Space Marine chapters or legions had a different name before their Primarch took control.
Yeah, I think they're like the Dusk Raiders or something like that.
Yeah.
And they are inspired just by like trench warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So not really like a specific like group, but just like World War I, World War II, where everybody had to wear masks and like the environment was really deadly. Who else?
With Magnus and his legion, they were all like
magicians.
Yeah.
But it's Egyptian.
Right. They had the Egyptian motif with like the eyes and all that stuff. What are those things called? Like, because they had like power weapons that were like in the shape. Oh, hang on. I forget.
Weapons in the shape of
like staffs, but there's like a specific name for it. I don't know.
You're still talking about the
the Thousand Suns.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But anyway, moving on. You've got Perturabo and his Iron Warriors as like the like defenders.
I just like that incorporation of the workers' union, like or like what is it called, like the Industrial Revolution, like iron makes right and stuff like that. Same thing with the Iron Hands.
Yeah.
Except
Flesh is weak.
They're more technologically like advanced. They're like Apple, whereas like Iron Warriors are Android. And then the Imperial Fists are basically just city fighters, and they're kind of like your standard modern day warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Like bolter rounds or bolter drills and stuff like that. Who else?
The
Night Lords.
They're more
spooky.
Yeah, they're shock and awe, like guerrilla tactics, that type of warfare.
Raven. What is it called? The Blood Ravens?
Raven Guard.
Yeah, Raven Guard.
Because they're supposed to be like sneaky and like snipers and stuff like that. I mean, they are, and that is the thing. But I just find it hard to believe that like these super soldiers wearing like super heavy and like noisy armor can do that.
Yeah, their whole thing I feel is very similar to the Night Lords, where they were supposed to be like the spooky loyalists, because it's supposed to connect to Edgar Allan Poe and like the poem Raven. And all that. Yeah.
Hark.
Yeah. And
who goes there?
What else? Ultramarines we said. Oh, yeah. Norgar. And his word bearers.
Yeah.
I mean that theme is just like Catholicism.
It is. Yeah.
And like, or not even just Catholicism, but just like
religion.
Hardcore, yeah, zealot religion. And
obviously you mentioned Vikings with the Space Wolves. Salamanders are like the artisans, I guess.
Forge masters.
Right, but they're also very kind-hearted towards like humans and stuff like that.
Yeah. And Alfarius and Omegon and the Alpha Legion.
They're double agents.
Yes. They're like spies. 007. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right.
This is Gershwan,
the Sound Alchemist, and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.